my gosh, we're back again today to talk a little bit more about the Whole You retreat. And I am really happy to have kind of one of my newer friends, Breyanna, but she has become close and near and dear to my heart and part of my tribe. And I just love her. She facilitates and loves on people at our retreat our yoga in our yoga room and throughout the house. You've like taken our class throughout the mansion, and I just love that. So I want to just everybody say hey to Breyanna, and Breyanna, tell us a little bit about you and why you do what you do, why you were drawn to yoga in the first place, and all that.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm not used to doing any live anything. So, don't judge. Um I live in northern Colorado, and I actually work for an aerospace company. And I've been a yoga student for years and years. And one day the studio owner of the studio that I go to here had to cancel a class. And I just jokingly, responded with, I can teach it. And then he said, get certified and I'll hire you. And so I thought, oh yeah, right, whatever. Well, then the pandemic happened, and it started to become more of an idea of, would I want to do this? And anyway, jumping forward, obviously I did my training and he did hire me. And I love working for him. He's a great person. But also I got the opportunity to come teach at the retreat. And it was interesting because it's something that I knew that I wanted to do, and the opportunity presented itself before I even tried to look for it. So that was really cool. And I feel the same way about you, Brenda and Stacy, and Tresson, who I knew a little bit before. But the women that are facilitating this are just incredible women, and I feel really lucky to be a part of that. But yeah, that's a little bit about my journey to teaching yoga. Nothing like, spiritual and any kind of a little bit of a boring story, but also
No, it's not boring, and your story is just being created as we speak. And just like you said, you attracted our invitation to lead yoga at our retreats, a couple of years ago now, and you've been a staple since. And everybody just really just your classes are highly attended, and people don't want to miss a thing. So tell everybody now kind of what your like first retreat, this will be your third one, I think, coming up, or is it the fourth? It's something
third,
like that, like
third.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell like the first time you were a part of it, what was, what was it aha for moments for you?
So the first time, I don't know if you remember, and I didn't really know what to expect. It helped that that I had met you and Stacy and Tresson, but on the first day we do like a tour. And I remember you asking me, do you want to do some tours? And I was like, yes, please, because I like talking to people. These are all women too, which I was excited about that aspect because I adore working with women. And so yeah, so I kind of my experience was to try to get to know the women a little bit before we have them in class. Um, and I was a newer teacher then, so I don't know if my confidence was there, but I remember having people really enjoy class, and that really helped me day to day. And getting so when you're in a yoga class, sometimes you don't know the teacher, you don't really know everybody else. And so the first class that we do, everybody's been acquainted, but then it's really beautiful because as the days go, you start to get to know people, you start to get to know a little bit deeper, sometimes a lot deeper, which is beautiful. And So as I'm teaching, I can really feel, I can really feel like I know these people, and I can teach to them just a little bit more custom personal, in a custom personal way, and I call them out. My classes go anywhere from, very, quiet and calm and serious, I guess, to like laughing hysterically, um, as we're doing things. And so yeah, so that was my experience with that first, and I was just kind of like figuring it out as I went, not figuring out the classes, but figuring out like how to integrate the whole experience with the yoga classes in
Yeah,
that way. Yeah.
awesome. Well, with that, tell us what your experience, because our leaders that come, like you, actually, what's really cool about it is we all attend everything. We all
Mhm.
are part of each other's stuff, workshops and
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So what was that like for you, attending these workshops?
So interesting. Yeah. I know that I had never participated in anything like that, but I think I told you this is something I have always thought of, not just a retreat for yoga, not just a retreat for, you know, um, wellness, but the two of them together. And I tell people about how we have these workshops that you learn from.
Mhm.
It's not just, this these lectures.
Mm.
It's deep learning about yourself. And so that first retreat that I was a part of, I did the workshops, which were super just intense, emotional, beautiful. Um, and I had the great, one of my best friends attended as a retreater. And so I got to kind of experience that with her. And part of what I'm doing today specifically really comes from that very first retreat, in which I talked about just, what I want out of my life, out of, what I'm doing, creating, all the different parts of my life. And then my friend Suzanne, she's also created a bunch from that very first retreat. So my experience has been just really like it was a transition point for me, you know?
I love hearing that, and I know that a lot of women come to our retreat at this place where they're kind of like not sure what's next for them, not particularly excited about their life right now, and really want to change that, want to live
Yeah.
again, want to start something fresh. And I just love, you and Suzanne's story and what Suzanne had created from the workshops that she's actually taken a year and a half, a year later, and she's doing it. It's just so exciting. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was interesting because we both wanted to, it was in your workshop, we both wanted to create something that would support um, people in a way, not just women. For me, I think it was more just women. For her, maybe not. But she went on to start the Curious Card Company, which
Mm.
is amazing. And we have a workshop put together that we'll be doing at Full Circle and hopefully maybe at the retreat. But that's all stemmed from what she learned or what she put together from that. And then me, I was kind of looking for more meaningful um, connection in my life because, I work for a corporate company, which I love the company. I love the people I work with, but it doesn't give me the satisfaction out of my life and what I'm putting out into the world. And so it has enabled that specific workshop has inspired, not enabled, inspired a whole bunch of things that I'm doing. And right in this moment, I'm working, as you know, I'm working on with the Yoga Prison Project to
Ah,
go uh, teach yoga to women who are incarcerated, which not something on my radar that first retreat, but now has just become like a, oh my God, that is exactly kind of what I wanted to do, you know? And the training, it helps me so much. Um, and then so giving that, being able to give that, but I don't know that I would have gotten there
mhm.
if I hadn't been a part of the retreat.
It's
Yeah.
amazing when you go a little bit out of your comfort zone, you stretch yourself, you
Yeah.
invest in yourself in a different way that maybe you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't spend family money or whatever on this kind of thing or whatever, but it's really not spending, it's an investment. And when you do that, the universe unfolds a path that is incredible, and you just go, where did this come from? But it would never have happened had you not gotten out of your comfort zone just a little, taken that step, tried something new. So just
Mhm.
it's just beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like it's a trapeze kind of, right? You swing, you have to trust that
Mhm.
if you let go, that all of your strength, all of your learning, you'll find your way to the next, you know, bar. And that's
Yes.
kind of how I think about it, right? And so I keep landing
Yeah.
uh, on the bar that I'm supposed to be on.
Yeah. Because you have
Yeah,
faith in the
yeah,
process. Love
yeah,
it. Awesome.
yeah.
So let's talk yoga a little bit more again. And what kind of yoga do you teach? And let's talk about maybe someone who has always wanted to, but
Mhm.
hasn't, either done it yet at all, or they want to get into a habit, but they haven't been able to get a practice started. And what do they need to know?
Well, I think first, if you've never done yoga before, I know it can be intimidating. And so first, erase that out of your mind because nobody is judging you because you're not as flexible as someone else, you know. It is I teach vinyasa and I also am trained in yin, and then I'm working on being trauma informed, and trauma informed training for my next goal. But I'm very hands-on. I really love when I'm teaching to start out, you know, with kind of paying attention to each part of your body. I like to do some visualization um, where, we are kind of going into our body, bringing awareness to different parts of your body, being grounded into where you are right now. And especially at the retreat, right? Because
Mhm.
there's a lot happening for
Yeah.
these women. There's a
Yeah.
lot of emotion coming out. There's a lot of, self-realizations. There's just things happening. They're in transition too at that point. And so, um, I like to, like I said before, kind of integrate those ideas, into them, to the person, help them, facilitate them to start to integrate it. I'm hands-on. I really love touch. And so there's always in my class, there's always a decision whether you want me to do some hands-on assist or not. And it's, doesn't hurt my feelings if you don't, if you need your space. But I think that's mostly probably what I'm known for in class, is the way that I, bring that into the practice, because I also think that people are not touched enough in a
Mhm.
loving way. And people, at the studio and at the retreat, some of them have had been in tears after I've done some touch I don't know what you would call it, yoga. I don't know.
Adjustments or like
Adjustments
helping
or yeah,
support?
just like little massages. And I try to, not to sound too woo woo, but I really do try to exchange energy and bring positive, loving energy into my touch, you know? And so, you know, I know that it, because there's so much emotion going on, that triggers. And so I find I've never found anybody who's been, you know, not I've never known anybody who's been like, please, I don't like this. This is not for me, right?
Right.
But it could, I mean, anybody could say that. But yeah, so my style is very me, genuine me, right? So I'm not gonna own, because that's not genuine, you know. I don't the spiritual side is more of my genuine spiritual side.
Mhm.
But I make room for everyone and for whoever. There's space in my class for anyone. Um, so yeah, I really, that's kind of my style, I guess.
Yeah. And I've been to your classes and they're lovely. And I and it's cool because women who've never done it before, you know, are able to do it and not feel weird or that like they're not doing something right. And it's just you have a very welcoming um, class about you and just you know, everybody just.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I'm here with the women. I'm here to support. I mean, we've had women at the retreat that aren't able to move in certain ways because of injuries or illness.
Mhm.
And so, you know, I'm there to support, you know, the person. One of my yoga teachers from training, she says, I I teach bodies, not poses,
Mhm.
right? So that's kind of my philosophy too. It's not like doing a downward dog or doing a warrior two, right? It's not about how you look. It's not about, it's about how it feels in your body. It's about knowing, having awareness of your body. It's about no understanding that you are strong,
Mhm.
but it is not about perfect pose. This is not what I'm not teaching anyone that really is into that. And if that's what you're into, you should go to a different yoga class.
It's a breath of fresh air, though. Even the hardcore yogis out there would enjoy the just to take it a notch of just being, you know, present, truly
Mhm.
present and enjoying the movement with other women. So
Yeah, exactly. Not that we don't get a workout. I
yeah,
don't want
yeah,
that to get
yeah,
twisted. We sweat.
yeah.
We work out. Yeah.
Love it. So I know you love our mansion.
Hmm. Who doesn't?
You who doesn't, right? But and you have taken your class into like every nook and cranny in that mansion. So talk about the mansion a little bit.
Okay. Uh, so the mansion is, what is it, 18,000 square feet or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
And depending on what time of year, we've tried to do yoga outside, which can get a little bit cold. But last May we did some yoga in where did we go? We went up in one of the balconies. A couple of us went up there just, and I'm available. So if we are having free time, I usually don't leave the mansion. I'm usually just there, and on my off time I'm reading or visiting or whatever. But so I love to teach in the living room.
Because all
It's
those
so
windows
beautiful.
and all the nature just right there,
All the
all
nature.
the light.
Yeah, exactly. The living room's beautiful. Last time we did the candlelight yoga, and we did it not only in the
Gymnasium.
the gymnasium or the racquetball court, but we also did it upstairs, which I really enjoyed. That dark, it's warm, and it's cozy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of different, you and I were doing a little yoga in the snow that one time.
We did. We
Just
were,
the one pose.
yes. Yeah, it was just Brianna and I kind of later, maybe Saturday night, and we were in the Roman hot tub spa that holds 20 women, but 20 people, but it was just us, and we are like, look at that snowdrift out there. What did we do? Like we did plank or something like that in the
I
snow.
think somebody dared us. You dared me, I dared you, or your friend who was
Chris.
a retreater. Yes. I think she was like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. And we're not sharing the photos. We have a photo, but we're not sharing the photos.
No, no. But that's a good point. The Roman hot tub, which is just beautiful. And I posted a picture. I'm on Instagram. You can look me up as Breyanna DeMarco. And my Instagram yoga page is Breyanna Namastana. So if you're looking for that, you can find the picture of the Roman hot tub. You can find pictures of the mansion, and some pictures of lunch and other things that I took when I was there. But we have a professional photographer. But these are
Yes.
my personal pictures that I took.
Right.
But yeah, the mansion is beautiful, and it's also one thing I really like about it. There's place for privacy.
Right.
Even
That's a great
if
point.
Yeah, and even if you are sharing a room, whatever you booked for your retreat, whether it's a single room or a double occupancy, it's really not it's not hard to find some space to be alone, with like there's each the second floor has its own everything. There's
Library.
library, there's the living room or
Mhm,
sitting
mhm.
room with that little kitchenette, and
Yeah,
so it's a great place for this kind of thing, for
yeah,
sure.
it really
Yeah.
is. It's the
I'm
best.
and the retreat does, you know, um there's a lot of emotion happening there. So being alone, needing time to be alone, um
Yeah.
might happen. And I've definitely, sat with people who have been, emotional and have tears and releasing,
Hmm.
something that happens in class a lot, that release. Um, so yeah, it's a beautiful place to do that. And it's got some good karma, it's got some
Oh
good
yeah.
juju there. Yeah,
Oh yes.
yeah.
And we bring it with us too. So it
Mhm,
is a very Zen space and we bring it as well. So
mhm.
I love that. So just some final thoughts, Brianna, like give us a plug for the women who are on the fence or hadn't thought of it yet. Why should they come to the Whole You Retreat?
Well, I think, when you have the first, if you have the want to do something like this, if you're interested and you feel like your life is stagnant, um, sometimes it seems unattainable. Oh, I can't take off work, or I can't, what about my children, or, whatever the case. We can make a million excuses for ourselves. But when and nobody wants to be stagnant, but it can be hard to get out of that. So if that's where you are, pulling the trigger and just, coming to something like this will change your life. It'll change your life. And so what I say this to my friends actually when they're like, I want to do this, but I don't know. And I say, think about the end of your life. You know, are you going to be happy that you stayed home that weekend to do your laundry and, just kind of another, weekend of the same old, and you're not happy in your life? Or are you going to be really thankful for that past you that said, you know, it's, I'm going to, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to go out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to, um, do what I'm scared of doing.
Mhm.
And I think that is where you'll be, because I think also this retreat is such a catalyst, such
Mhm.
a catalyst. So,
Yeah.
um, Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Breyanna, for taking this time. I know you're super busy. You're like a super mom, and you've got all kinds of things going on. But thanks for taking time to share with everyone today about
Yeah.
your wonderful contributions to the Whole You Retreat.
Oh, thanks, Brenda, and I look forward to seeing you soon,
I
very soon.
can't wait. I can't
Okay.
wait. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.